Connect the earth cable terminal to the copper bar as shown. With the machine switched off, connect the cables and firmly tighten the cable's connectors. Fit the gun with a spot welding washer tool. Load the gun with a washer. Switch on the machine and set the star washer function, the sheet thickness, the spot welding time, recommended value, default value. Place the copper bar near the area being repaired and spot weld the washer. Fasten the earth bar to the washer using the supplied terminal. A perfect earth attachment will guarantee a good spot weld. An articulated clamp or the optional pointing mass can also be used to fasten down the earth. The pointing mass is recommended for brief operations at low current intensities. Connecting the pointing mass. Attach the extractor with the corresponding star washer spindle to the gun using a universal wrench to lock it in place. Switch on the machine and set the star washer function, the sheet thickness, the spot welding time, recommended value, default value. Place the star washer on the sheet, press the button and release it at the end of the spot welding cycle. Proceed with traction using the extractor. Turn the washer on itself to remove it from the sheet. Repeat the traction operation depending on the size of the repair. Traction with. Fit the gun with the appropriate tool holder and tool, stud or washer. Switch on the machine and set the stud or washer function, the sheet thickness, the spot welding time, recommended value, default value. Place the stud or washer on the sheet, press the button and release it at the end of the spot welding cycle. Fit the extractor with appropriate spindle and proceed with traction. On termination, remove the spot welded stud or washer by grinding. Fit the gun with appropriate electrode. Switch on the machine and set the weighed wire function, the sheet thickness, the spot welding time, recommended value, default value. Spot weld the waved wire, holding it with a hand or using the optional magnetic positioner. Insert a single coupling in the end of the extractor and proceed with traction. For extensive repair use the optional multi-coupling starting with 4 to 10 pins. Lastly, remove the waved wire by grinding or by twisting it with a clamp. Fit the gun with appropriate electrode. Switch on the machine and set the upsetting function, the sheath thickness. Proceed with spot welding, applying a certain amount of pressure on the dent. Spot welding time is defined by the operator. These operations are used to flatten sheets with localized deformation towards the exterior, or deformation caused by star washer traction. Fit the gun with a carbon electrode. Switch on the machine and set the heating function, the sheet thickness. Work on the operating area from the outside to the inside, moving in a concentric spiral. The operator decides the time taken. Heating the sheet will allow it to return to its original position for shallow dents. To carry out tempering, continue with abrupt cooling using water. Spot single tip electrode. Fit the gun with appropriate electrode. Switch on the machine and set the spot welding on one side function, the sheet thickness, the spot welding time, recommended value, default value. Place the cleaned, grease and paint-free metal plate on the dent. Proceed with spot welding. Fit the gun with appropriate electrode. Switch on the machine and set the half-moon spot welding function, the sheet thickness. Proceed with the patch operating on the edge of the metal plate. Intermittent spot welding with intervals determined by the power source. These operations are used for reconstruction using metal plate fillers. Fit the gun with appropriate electrode. Rivets and screws have different electrodes. Switch on the machine and set the heating function, the sheet thickness, the spot welding time, recommended value, default value. Proceed with spot welding.